that the world can proclaim LGBTQ, right? They proclaim Pride Month and the NBA. They proclaim it. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month, to celebrate unrighteousness. I said these things to my teammates. Was never detrimental to them. So why is it that the NBA and the Chicago Bulls say that I'm detrimental to the team? How? Because I believe in the truth. Because I know Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. How? How is my conduct detrimental to the team? Because of what I believe. Because of what the truth is.
This is a thing where I stand with Jayden Ivey. I do not like or watch basketball, but I'm a big promoter of the freedom of speech. A man who loves his religion and speaks out about what he feels about the alphabet community, I'm all for it. Because this is the thing where I've been silenced plenty of times on plenty of apps when I talk about the mental instability of the trans community, even the mental instability of the rest of the alphabet community. And I'll stand with this man because he expressed his freedom of speech. This is the thing where I saw another creator saying, this is a black man that worked to where he got. And he got canceled because he talked about the alphabet community. And yet we don't have big time black creators talking out about it, supporting this man. How can you, right, be fine with a black man being canceled, right, for speaking out, for talking about his beliefs? It's like, isn't the black community, right, constantly saying, fighting against the white man? Unless that white man is trans or gay, you would fold, right? Is that how the black community works? See, it's funny that you would support it if Jayden Ivey was talking about the white man, right, was talking about Trump, you would support that shit. You would be up in arms if he got fired, right? If he got kicked out of the NBA because he talked about Trump or a white man, right? You would have an outrage with that, right? I mean, like you were supporting, I forgot his name, right? The guy who was talking about the Jews, right? It's funny, right? If you're talking about straight white men, okay, but God forbid, right? God forbid, you talk about alphabet community. Absolutely insane. Absolutely disgusting. This is the hypocrisy I see, right? The party that, are of minorities, but you better stay in line. You better follow the rules, right? This is a perfect example of being canceled, right? Being canceled if you go against the grain. This is what I said, right? You think that because Trump is the president, it's mainstream to be right, mainstream to be conservative. It's not. It's not mainstream. It's really not. Okay? It's more mainstream, it's more trendy to be part of the left, to be liberal, to be a Democrat, okay? It's more trendy, at least online, social media, okay? With these companies that are so fucking woke, it's more trendy, right? To be woke, to be a social justice warrior, than to be conservative, to be religious, to be, logical, right? It's not that trendy. Shit like this is absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry if there's any black person that's not standing for this man. Stop talking about racism ever again. Stop talking about racism ever again, because you don't care about fighting against a white man. Right? Because if that white man was trans, right, or gay, you'll shut up. You'll shut up. You won't speak out. You won't talk about it. You won't be against it. So really, your selective racism is stupid. Absolutely disgusting.
Where the fuck is the black community when it comes to Jayden Ivey? Because the NBA very clearly just chose LGBTQ over a black man who has worked his entire life to get where he is. Where the fuck is Dr. Umar and Conscious Lee and all these creators that would have lost their fucking minds if he had been waived because he made a comment about a white guy? Like, stop bullshitting. Like, say he had been waived, instead of making a comment about the LGBTQ, say he had made that comment about a white dude. Say he had made a comment about Trump, and then he had got waived because of that. You would be in the fucking street protesting. Every black creator on this platform would be making videos about it. About how the white man is holding the black man back. About how Jayden Ivey worked his entire life, probably was the best basketball player in childhood, was without a doubt the best player probably in his high school's history, then went to Purdue and was a standout star and got into the NBA, something that such a tiny amount of the American population is even capable of doing, and even less are willing to do the work. Had he been waived for making a comment about a white person, even the president, y'all would have lost your fucking minds. But because he made a statement about his faith in God and not supporting the celebration of Pride Month in the NBA, y'all are dead fucking silent. Yeah, I don't want to hear shit about who holds the power in this country, because y'all are staying real fucking quiet while the NBA chooses LGB over a black man.
Ivey's been through a lot. If you hear what he's talked about, he was sexually molested as a child. He had a proven addiction while he was married. He's self-admitted that he was abusive towards his wife and his children. These are all Jayden Ivey's words, not my own. And so Jayden Ivey is also acknowledging like he's a struggling individual, or an individual that has struggled. So let me acknowledge that, acknowledge the emotional and the interpersonal aspects as well. Anybody who's been to therapy understands things that happened to you as a child, they impact you as an adult. Now let me talk about the biblical aspect of it. Because Jayden Ivey also has to understand that not everything that's legal is going to be biblical. Render to Caesar what is Caesar's. Also have to understand, you have to be wise, discerning, and tactful as to how you speak and when you speak and who you speak to. Jayden Ivey, if you want to quote Paul in Corinthians, Paul wrote what he wrote to the church in Corinth. He didn't necessarily write what he wrote to the church in Ephesus or the church in Galatia. In the same manner, Jayden Ivey, you got to use discernment of when you speak and who you're speaking to. If your job and your goal is to emulate Jesus, also understand when Jesus saw the woman who had committed adultery, he said, go and sin no more. He didn't then try to extrapolate every single sin and every single man she has slept with adulterously. So I will just start by saying, one, understand there's a difference between legal and biblical. Two, Jayden Ivey, make sure you tend to your mental and emotional health if indeed there is anything going on, because you have been very vulnerable about your struggles previously. And then three, render to Caesar what is Caesar's and render to God what's God's. That's biblical if you want to talk biblical.
The black community is weak. The black community is weak. They're 100% weak. So be careful with who you talk about and who you talk to, right? Hell, you can criticize our president, Trump. You can criticize our government. You can criticize the white man. You can criticize the Jew. You can criticize pretty much anybody besides the alphabet community. Is that right? Oh, that's who you can't criticize? That's who you bend the knee to? Hi, that's who you bend the knee to? You will hold white people. You will be critical of white people, but God forbid that white people are trans or gay. Now you'll stay quiet. You'll stay quiet. Right? Now that's what you do. And saying that, Jesus didn't, I'm not no, Bible thumper, but saying Jesus didn't, preach about it, but there's plenty of other lines that he talks about it. So, again, every person you meet, you don't have to, go full on, sermon, but if you could, they probably would. This is the thing, this is the problem I find with, with people like this, okay? You have a voice, and yet this is how you support your fellow brothers. This is why, it's hypocrisy when you talk about police brutality, yet you don't talk about black on black crime. Right? You don't support your brothers when you actually should support them. You only support them if it's about the white man, right? The straight white man, right? I mean, I guarantee you, this man wouldn't be talking shit, right? Or he would be 100% on board if Jayden Ivey got fired because he was talking about Trump. If he was talking about white supremacy, if he was talking about white man, a man like that, hey, all these people who have voices on social media, have powerful voices on social media, would be in an uproar. But God forbid you dare talk about the alphabet community, your new masters, right? The Democrat, the left. God forbid you talk about left. God forbid you be critical of liberals. And this is the thing where you just treat one master from another, right? And this is the thing where I'm all for it when, the black community, they would, stay true to the thing, right? You want to hold white people accountable? Okay. But do it across the board. You want to support black power? You want to support black excellence? Do it across the board. Don't support black excellence. Don't stop supporting black excellence just because they talk about community you don't agree with, right? Because, like I said, if he talked about white people, white supremacy, Trump, you would support that. But because he's talking about the alphabet community, you don't. The inconsistency there, right? The inconsistency there. He's not saying that we should, that you should, delete them. But again, he has an opinion on it, and you got fired for opinion. You got canceled for opinion, and you don't even support your brothers on it. Yeah.
Girl, this is Jayden, and he just got fired from his job for being homophobic on Instagram Live. My name is Mariah, and this is Hoops for Hotties, where I break down what's going on in the basketball world for the girls, the gays, the days, and the straight men who don't admit they're not watching basketball, and this story is insane. Last week, the Chicago Bulls came to Jayden Ivey and said, hey, you're too hurt. You can't play for the rest of the season. They shut him down. And ever since then, he's been going live on Instagram a lot more frequently. And he called the NBA out for celebrating Pride Month, saying that it was unrighteous. He went on to talk about how a woman can't bear children with another woman, and he was talking about subjects like abortion and the Wicked song lyrics. I don't think he was referring to Cynthia and Ariana's rendition of Divine Gravity. I think he was talking about like our sinful music of today. Jayden has been very open about his struggles with mental health, and he reportedly has said that he was SA'd multiple times as a child by a trusted family member, and that led him to be abusive towards his wife and his child, and that also led him to have a pee addiction videos on the internet. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I don't want my video to get taken down. And abuse alcohol and all those other sorts of things. So he has dealt with a lot, and so that explains the rush to very dramatic religion. But he coming for everybody. Like someone said, do you go to confession? And he said, Catholicism is a fake religion, which is interesting because his mom is the head coach of the women's basketball team at Notre Dame, one of the biggest Catholic universities in the country, if not the biggest. She's also a former professional women's basketball player who played for the Detroit Shock, so it was a super full circle moment. When he was drafted 5th overall to the Detroit Pistons, so he is talented. Like, he could be really good, but he dealt with a lot of injuries and then was traded to the Chicago Bulls. Someone also said, sending prayers, Detroit misses you, and he said, God does not hear your prayer if you are a sinner. Now, the Bulls cited conduct detrimental to the team when they waived him, and this is kind of like the NBA team firing you version of when two people get divorced and they cite irreconcilable differences. That could mean anything. He cheated, you cheated. It's just like a broad way of saying we getting divorced and something happened. But he was very upset by that. He was like, my conduct was not detrimental to the team. I was a great teammate. I passed the ball to them. I was encouraging, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, he's very upset that they waived him because of his religious beliefs. He's saying that he should have the right to spread the gospel, and I'm paraphrasing here, and be a Christian and be open about his beliefs without being fired by his team. People have very different opinions on this, and I definitely have an opinion I'll tell you in the next video, but I'm curious what y'all think. Let me know in the comments.
Why I chose Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
Because what this whole look stands for bag alert. Once you see me, if I ain't even got the like right now, I ain't sharp enough, but when a motherfucker see me, I look like money.
Fact.
They can look at me and be
Okay. Okay.
But so what it
I
stands
go for that. I go for that.
So what it stands for, bag alert.
Okay.
It don't stand for I'm wearing Louis Vuitton every day. It stands for when you see me, you know I'm getting to the bag.
So
I'm talking about big bag.
I don't know about you, but when I look at him, I see wasted money. Right? All that tat is wasted money. You could have saved it. You could have invested it. Right? It's all I see is wasted money. I see waste air. This is I'm sorry. I'm gonna be critical, right? A lot of things in the black community, this is one of the problems. Like instead of being like hateful or critical of white people, why not take a page out of them? Okay? Stop showing off your money. Stop using your money so you can show it off. Because then you've used it, right? Buying gold chains, buying wasted, cars, clothes, whatever. Why not invest your money? Save your money. I don't know. All the tat on his body, gotta be maybe a couple grand. Okay? You could have used that couple grand to invest it. Invest it. Stocks, maybe a property. Continue making money. When you tap your shit, right? When you tap your face, you're not making money. You're losing it. So that doesn't show you're getting the bag. That shows you that you are stupid. You have a low IQ. You wasted your money. That money could have made you money. I'm sorry, right? Whole tat on your face. How's that making you money? What is that? Like, one person's like, oh, I'm gonna be business partner with this man, or you know what? I'm gonna give the man this job, or it's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy from this weirdo. No, how are you making money when you look so fucked up? So again, we have. I think it's a toxic culture where let me buy a whole lot of shit. Let me buy diamonds, which honestly have terrible resale values. Let me buy cars that honestly, a lot of them have terrible resale values. And then that's my, me showing off I have money. You don't need to show off you have money. Just have money, right? That's the thing. Shit like this is toxic and stupid in my opinion. This is a thing where to be honest, I wouldn't even talk about the black community, right? I really wouldn't. But I've said this before. When I find hypocrisies, when I find delusions, when I find lack of accountability, I just can't help myself. I have to point it out, right? I really can't help myself, because this right here is the reason why I just have to talk about said community. Okay, police be killing us. Okay, right? Oh, that's so terrible, right? Great. But where's that same energy? Where's that same energy when your brothers do it? Where's that same energy? Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Police be killing us? Can you... I'm not going to tell you numbers because I want people to actually Google it. Because if you do the research, more likely it will stick to you better, right? But it's like a 1 to 10 ratio, okay? If not 1 to 100. The disparity between how many police people, right? How many are killed by police compared to how many are killed by men that look like this, right? Men that you would think that's your brothers, right? It's almost like a 1 to 100 kind of scale ratio. I believe every year maybe under 500, under 1,000. Let's say that. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I would love it for you to Google it. But death by men that look like this, right? Death by what you would deem your brothers, your brothers of another mother, thousands. Like, I don't know, 10,000? Google it. So hopefully it will stick with you better, okay? That's the thing. I find that the hypocrisy. You care so much, right? Police be killing us. You care so much. Yet you're quiet when your brothers do it. You're quiet when, your neighbor is killed, the child of your neighbor is killed, are killed by people in your neighborhood, people of your same complexion. You're quiet about that. That's the hypocrisy. That's the hypocrisy I see. That's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You care so much when police do it. You care so little when people of your own complexion do it.
I want you all to meet Shelly. She is a liberal who decided to leave this picture under my comments because I am a conservative, and I just wanted to tell Shelly and use her. Actually, I just want to talk to everyone, not just Shelly.
I wanted to show that video, right? Just a snippet of that video to show why I think being a Democrat is stupid, okay? Because it's filled with hypocrisies. Being a Democrat is filled with hypocrisies. You speak out about racism, yet you are racist. You speak out against sexism, yet you are sexist. You speak out against caring about Americans, yet you don't care about Americans, okay? Why did I say all that stuff? Okay, and that's the hypocrisy, but why did I say all that stuff? Because one, I have video proof of Democrats, liberals, being racist, saying the N-word to black people. I have videos of Democrats, liberals, leftists, attacking women, right? Attacking women, pretty much not caring about women. I have a video of, liberals, attacking a female reporter, black Democrat judges, lightning sentences of criminals who've done crime against women. And we have videos of, Democrats crying about the death of Americans by ICE, yet no peep about Americans dying by the hands of immigrants, illegal immigrants, right? Not a peep. It's the hypocrisy, okay? It is the hypocrisy. And I will say this until I'm blue in the face, okay? Republicans, the right, they're not better. They're no better, okay? But what makes it where I would, and I believe I'm like center, but center right. Why I would even side with the right is that at least they're not full-blown hypocrites. They're not out here, claiming that they're not racist or that they are for minorities. They're not out here claiming that they're for women or, they're not sexist. Now, they're not claiming that they are or they're not, right? They're not trying to claim a more high ground. Democrats are. The left are, right? They constantly say that they're for women. They're for minorities. They constantly say that shit. Yet they constantly prove otherwise, right? So how I view is that, you know what? For Republican, for the right, if they're going to stab you, they'll stab you face to face. While Democrats, they will stab you, right? They will hug you. They will try to think, you're a woman, you're a minority. I'm like, let me, my brother, hug you, and then stab you in the back. That's the insanity of it, right? And it's just like the denial of the hypocrisy is quite tiring. And I want to say my piece where I've been there, where I've had the left, Democrats, say that you should be deported, right? You're next. Say racist things towards me. Say you deserve to die. You will be deported, right? Or I wish you were deported, right? I wish you were deported. I wish you and your family were deported. So one, you can say racist things towards me, yet you support what minorities. You hate deportation, yet you wish I'm deported. It's the hypocrisy. It's tiring.
What are white people superior at?
White people are very superior at their privilege and utilizing it.
Insecurity? Pretending?
Fear, being fearful of nothing, being ignorant, blame, letting their egos control their every move.
I saw the original video, right, of that. Just a whole bunch of black people bashing white people. And I'm like, what makes you no different than white people doing that? I can never understand. The same type of people, men, it could be women, it could be men, it could be black, it could be white. But when, let's say, if a white person, a bunch of white people say, what are black people superior at? And then they list pretty much a whole bunch of terrible shit. Would that not be racist? That's racist. When a bunch of black people, okay, are asked, what are white people superior at? And you just list a whole bunch of BS. Is that not? It's like, what makes you better? Right? You know better than the people. I constantly see this, right? Same thing happens to women. Right? Women constantly say shit about men or constantly do shit to men. And what makes you better than the men? What makes you better than the villain you claim that is evil? Right? What makes these people better than the white people that they complain about. Oh, power? You think that every white person has power? You think the majority of white people have power? That's because of that. And this is the thing where it is a predominantly white country. I find this funny. White people have no. White people are not. I hate white people. White people are terrible. Yet every single person who thinks that the white race is terrible, they're not better than nothing. They would not go back to, let's say, black people would not go back to Africa where, that's a superior race, right? That's a superior race. That's the better race. Yet, God forbid you go back to a country where it's predominantly all black. I don't even want to go to. I don't want to live in my my forefathers, my parents' country. No, I am proud to be American. And controversially, I want America. I want these white nations to be predominantly white. Because if you wanted a predominantly black country, predominantly Asian country, go back to those countries. Okay, it is white countries that have pushed and promoted diversity, and in my opinion, to their own detriment. Right, it has been a detriment to white nations. So, but they have been more open in arms to other cultures, other viewpoints, other personalities than other countries have. And they have made these white nations, America for me in particular, has given me the life that I love, given me the opportunities that I'm being able to experience now. So to shit on white people while pretty much embracing a predominantly white nation is kind of stupid to me. It really is. It is absolutely disgusting in my opinion. It shows you how delusional you are. Because here's the thing: go back to a country where it's only your race. Go back to that and see how your life is. See if you will live the same type of life that you do in America. These people don't. And that's the thing where I don't think white people are better than anyone, right? I don't. But I just I'm tired of this. Like, we are shitting on people, but it makes us no better than the people we shit on, because we think that the people who are terrible, and we think that they shit on us. Yet, okay, when if it was reversed, we could shit on them. You have no high moral. You have no high moral. Moral high ground to stand on. You show that you are no better than the people you hate. You're no better. So, I just think it's stupid. We shouldn't be hating on each other. We shouldn't. Right? And it's like, if you don't want people to view you as a monolith, stop viewing others as a monolith.
Why are there no nice black neighborhoods? Before y'all lose your fucking minds and be like, this is racist, let me remind you, I am not making a statement. I am asking a question.
Sir, I will happily answer that question for you and tell you there are no nice black neighborhoods because black people don't give a fuck. It's that simple. Fuck your feelings. That's the fucking truth. When black people do better in life, the first thing they want to do is move the fuck away. Move out. Get away from niggas. That's a fact. NBA, NFL, baseball, anything, when they make money, they move the fuck away. Because niggas do shit. They don't do nothing but fuck shit up. That's a fact. If you don't like that, you just ain't looking at fucking reality. Because at the end of the day, if niggas took care of their shit like Mexicans or Asians, motherfuckers would love living in the projects with Section 8. But they don't, because they allow their kids to tear that shit up. You see them in their neighborhoods, you see them in their stores, you see them in their gas stations, and they fuck shit up. And then they cry about the rest of the world and the shit they live in. You create the shit you live in, because anything given to you, you fuck up. It's all free government land, and y'all still tear that shit up, even though it was free and given to you. So I will answer that question. There are no nice black neighborhoods because black people fuck that shit up. Black people move off to nice white neighborhoods where they can be comfortable and ain't got to deal with a bunch of niggas. Fuck your feelings. Facts is facts, and that's a fucking fact.
I thought it was funny. A lot of times I see when liberals comment on anything, with against the right or Republicans, they always call them, bootlickers, licking Trump's, feet or whatever. But in my opinion, or just something I've seen, or something I've also never seen, please show me a picture, right? Please show me a video or a picture. I've never seen an actual someone on the right, a Republican or whatever, lick anybody's boot, right? I've never seen it, okay? I've yet to see any Republican, anyone on the right, lick Donald Trump's boot, lick anybody's boot. But I have seen a liberal woman lick someone's feet. I have seen someone on the left lick someone's feet. No self-respect whatsoever. No dignity. You would get on the floor and literally lick someone else's feet. I.e. a bootlicker. So, the whole thing when people constantly throw around the term, you're a bootlicker. right? Against the right or anyone that, to be honest, when politically anyone that's against you, the right, Republicans, constantly, oh, you lick Donald Trump's boots, his ass, or whatever. I've never seen anyone on the right do that. I have seen. There's a video of this, right? I have seen someone on the left lick someone else's boots or feet or shoes, whatever, right? So, to be honest, saying a whole lot of shit means nothing because I prefer actions, right? Okay? I prefer solid proof. That's the difference between the right and the left. The right's more logical. They have shit that backs what they're saying. The left, they're just talking because they're emotional. So,